Corrosion rate. We can define corrosion rate as a rate of material removal as a consequence of chemical reaction, and it is an important parameter. Can it, corrosion rate can be expressed as corrosion penetration rate, CPR. And CPR is equal to Kw divided by rho multiplied by A multiplied by T. K is constant of proportionality, and its value depend on the units of the other parameters which are used here. Here the W is the weight loss after exposure time T. We are exposing a metal to the external environment for a certain time T, then amount of weight lost due to corrosion is equal to W. Rho is the density of the metal and A is the area which is exposed towards the external environment which is corroded. For convenience, CPR is expressed in terms of either miles per year or millimeter per year. So if we express the CPR in miles per year, then the K value will be 534. If it is miles per year, if CPR unit is miles per year, it is the conversion, the mile and inch conversion. W, A and T are specified in units of milligram. If K is the value 534, then CPR will have the unit miles per year, and W will have the unit milligram, density gram per centimeter cube, and the area square inches, and time in hours. And in the second case, when the when CPR value is millimeter per year, the K value will be 87.6 for millimeter per year CPR units, and the unit of other parameters such as W, density, area, and time. Except A, all other units will be same. The A unit here in this case will be square centimeter. Other units will be same, like weight in milligram, density in gram per centimeter cube, but area will not be same, and time will be in hours. A corrosion penetration rate less than about 20 miles per year is acceptable for most applications because it is a very slow corrosion rate. High temperature oxidation or dry corrosion. Ferrous alloys get rusted at high temperature, form scales, and oxidize. The rate of reaction increases with increase in temperature. So the rate of rusting also increases with increase in temperature. So for example, it is an iron alloy. When we are using it at very high temperature, for example in industries, iron will be converted to iron oxide, and iron oxide scales will be formed on the surface of iron. One can prevent this corrosion by adding alloying elements which are resistant to oxidation in some metals and also have good properties of high temperature service. So the solution of high temperature oxidation is that we make an alloy of the metal. We add such type of metals in the alloy that metals are resistant to oxidation. They can withstand very high temperature. They have high temperature service value. They can be used in high temperature corrosion. We add such type of metal in the alloy. Here is another example of high temperature oxidation. When liquid metal flow in industries, when there is a liquid metal and it flow on the other metals which are solid. So this liquid metal will dissolve some amount of solid metal in itself. High temperature corrosion also occurs. The corrosion is due to tendency of the solid to dissolve in liquid metal up to solubility limit at a given temperature. So this liquid metal will dissolve the solid metal in itself up to the solubility limit, and the solid metal will be corroded due to the flow of this liquid metal. Serious damage by liquid metal attack has been reported in heat exchangers. Heat exchangers used in industries and they carry bismuth and sodium in liquid form for lowering the temperature of the heat exchangers. So bismuth and sodium dissolve the material of heat exchanger. So heat exchanger will be corroded due to these molten metals because the material which is used in heat exchanger has the ability to dissolve in liquid bismuth and liquid sodium. A portion of the solid goes into the solution in the liquid as the solid container, usually copper tubing, approaches the equilibrium with the liquid metal coolant in the hot zone of heat exchanger. A portion of the solid, that solid is here in the heat exchanger. For example, this is the surface of heat exchanger and here is molten metal. So in the copper, in this heat exchanger and its tubing, copper is present. So when the molten metal pass from here, it will dissolve copper in it. And the molten metal which are used as a coolant, bismuth and sodium, to lower somewhat temperature of the heat exchanger. So a portion of the solid goes into the solution. Here the copper solid goes into the bismuth and molten sodium. As the solid container usually copper tubing approaches equilibrium, there is equilibrium between dissolved copper and undissolved copper with a liquid metal coolant in the hot zone of heat exchanger. The solid try to deposit on the wall of the heat exchanger tubes as the liquid moves to the cooler part of the heat exchanger. So next, when cooler part of heat exchangers reached, for example, here the temperature is high and next part of the tubing has low temperature. So at low temperature, what will happen? These metals, bismuth and sodium, will deposit on the tube's wall of the heat exchanger as liquid move to the cooler part of the heat. Obviously, the hot zone is continuously corroded and the cold zone become plugged with the deposited corrosion products. So this part will be, this is hard part, this will be corroded, and here the wall will become thick, and because the corroded material deposit on this cool part of the wall. One can prolong the life of heat exchanger by the addition of certain inhibitors. Inhibitors are those things which stop a process, which slow down a process. So what type of inhibitor can be used? Inhibitor are used to the liquid alloy to form protective films to prevent high temperature corrosion. Passivity of metal. Passivity is actually the formation of the protective layer on some metal surface. Due to this protective layer, further corrosion is stopped. So let's study what is detail. Metal lose their chemical reactivity and become extremely inert under particular environmental conditions. This is the metals which are passive. So passive metal lose their chemical reactivity and become extremely inert under particular environmental condition. And this phenomena is called passivity, and it is displayed by chromium, iron, nickel, titanium, and several of their alloys. This passive behavior results from the formation of highly adherent and very thin oxide film on the metal surface. So a very thin layer of metal oxide is formed on the metal surface, and this layer is very inert, and so no further corrosion of the metal takes place. Stainless steel are highly resistant to corrosion in a rather wide variety of atmosphere. You know well about it. Stainless steel we are using in homes, and it is very resistant to corrosion. They contain at least 11% chromium. Chromium is highly corrosion resistant material. It is a passive material. It is a metal which show passivity. So that is why, due to this 11% chromium, stainless steel is highly resistant to corrosion. On increasing the potential of metal electrode, we have previously studied that an electric current flows while corrosion takes place. One part of the metal acts as cathode, other part of the metal acts as anode, or when two metals are in contact with each other, one metal will act as cathode, other metal will act as anode. And each anode and cathode has a potential which is called its electrode potential. So when the metal has high electrode potential, when we are using such metals with increased which has high electrode potential. When the metal has high electrode potential, its current density will be also high. Means its corrosion rate will also increase. When we increase the electrode potential of metal electrode, its current density also increases, mean its corrosion also increases. When the current density increases and it reaches up to its maximum value, this value is called critical value of current density. Then after reaching the critical value, current density abruptly falls to a much lower value. It is a natural phenomenon made for metals that once the current density is reached up to critical value, then it decreases to a very low value and become constant for some further increase in potential. We increase the potential, then the current density will remain constant. And this phenomena is known as passivation. So this is the definition of passivation in respect of electrode potential, in respect of current density. Aluminum is highly corrosion resistant in many environments because it also passive. So aluminum is the example of a metal which show passivity. Environmental effects on corrosion. These are different environmental conditions. Fluid velocity. The fluid which is passing on the surface of the metal. What is the velocity of this fluid? Temperature. And composition. Composition of the material which is in contact. Composition of the solution, or material or environment which is in contact with the metal. These affect the corrosion properties. Now first is fluid velocity. When we increase the fluid velocity, rate of corrosion is also increased due to erosive effect of high velocity fluid. For example, if you have an iron piece and the water is flowing on the surface of iron piece, it will be more easily corroded because the flowing water has kinetic energy and it will cause mechanical erosion of the metal also along with the corrosion. The rate of most chemical reaction rise with increasing temperature. So, increase in temperature will increase the rate of corrosion. And the next is concentration. For example, we have acidic solution in contact with the metal. By increasing the hydrogen ion concentration, the corrosion rate will be increased. So increase of concentration of the reactants which are in contact with the metal surface, it is increasing concentration will cause increase in corrosion rate. Specific forms of corrosion. These are uniform corrosion, galvanic corrosion, crevice corrosion, pitting corrosion, intragranular corrosion, selective leaching, erosion corrosion, and stress corrosion. We will study one by one. So first is uniform corrosion. This is a form of electrochemical corrosion. They occur when the whole surface of the metal is corroded to the same degree. Electrochemical corrosion, we have previously studied electrochemical corrosion, in which the one part of the metal acts as electrode, anode, other part of the metal acts as cathode, and electric current is produced due to oxidation and reduction reaction. And when whole surface of the metal is corroded to the same degree, because the surface is uniform. In that case, in all surfaces corroded uniformly. When the metal surface and environment are uniform, metal surface is uniform and environment is also uniform on all the metal surface. The composition of the environment is same. Crevice corrosion. Crevice corrosion, electrochemical corrosion, this is also electrochemical corrosion, can also occur as a consequence of concentration difference of ions or dissolved gases in electrolyte solution and between two regions of the same metal piece. Um, for example, this is a metal piece. Somewhere there is high concentration of somewhere there is high concentration of the electrolytes. Somewhere there is low concentration of electrolytes. So when where is high concentration of electrolytes, more corrosion will take place at that region as compared to the other region. And this is non-uniform type of corrosion, and this is called crevice corrosion because in the different places crevices are formed or depressions are formed in different places, and this is due to non-uniformity of the environment on the whole surface of the material, and surface of material is also not uniform. For such a concentration cell, corrosion takes place in the local that has a lower concentration. And corrosion occurring in crevices and recesses or under deposits of dirt or corrosion products where the solid solution becomes stagnant and there is localized depletion and dissolved oxygen are few examples of this type of corrosion. Corrosion also takes place in that region where is low concentration of the uh, electrolytes. And corrosion also takes place in the region where there is high concentration of electrolytes. So example of these corrosions are corrosion occurring in crevices and recesses. These are the normal things that such somewhere in some places there are depressions in the metal piece, and in their depression the corrosion rate is increased because in the depression there are more chances of accumulation of electrolytes, accumulation of moisture, accumulation of water. And corrosion is also very fast in that region of the metal where dirt or corrosion products are deposited. So it will also be non-uniform corrosion. And corrosion is also fast in that area where the electrolyte solution becomes stagnant. Means there are depressions and water or some electrolyte are accumulated there and they remain stagnant. And there is at this place there is localized depletion of dissolved oxygen. More localized depletion of dissolved oxygen mean at that place oxygen is dissolved very rapidly. For example, due to decomposition of organic products, due to dirt, due to microorganisms, they are depleting the dissolved oxygen rapidly at that place. Corrosion will be crevice corrosion. These are few examples of crevice corrosion. This type of corrosion attack produces fine pits or holes at various locations on the metal surface, like this showing in the diagram. At various places, such type of small holes or pits are produced. Pits ordinarily penetrate from top of the horizontal surface downward in a nearly vertical direction. Pits are formed downward in vertical direction. Pitting corrosion results either of the following reasons. First, localized difference in the composition of the metal surface. For example, this is metal surface. Its composition, if it is alloy, alloy composition is uniform generally, but sometimes if it is not a proper alloy, its composition cannot be uniform. Some of the parts of the metal may have some parts of the metal may have high concentration of some metals, and some part of the metals have low concentration of some metals. So some metals are very susceptible to corrosion. So for example, here the metal which is more easily corroded is present in high concentrations. Here the pit will be formed easily. And on the other place, for example, here the metal which is easily corroded is present in low concentration. So here a small pit will be formed or no pit will be formed. So pitting corrosion is due to non-uniform composition of the metal surface or its smoothness. For example, the smoothness is not uniform. Some places the metal is rough and at some places metal is smooth. At rough places there are more chance of corrosion, so pits will be formed in rough places. Second one is inhomogeneous external environment. The environment which is in contact with this metal is not uniform. For example, here is more concentration of electrolytes, so here there will be more corrosion. On the other side, there is less concentration of electrolytes, so here no pits will be formed. Protective films on the metal surface having not been uniformly perfect. This is also another reason protective films are on the metal surface. But these protective films are not uniform. So at places where this protective film is weak, more corrosion will take place at that places. So pits will be formed at that place. Crystallographic directions having not been equal in reactivity. Certain crystallographic directions can be easily corroded. So different at the places where there are such crystallographic directions which are easily corroded, there corrosion pits will be formed. A small spot on the surface being continuously anodic with current flowing from it at relatively high density. At the surface there is small spot which act as anode, where at that surface a metal may be present which has high oxidation potential, so it will behave as anode, and other part of metal will behave as cathode. So at that anodic part, at that point, which is, for example, this point is anodic, so anodic point will be more easily oxidized, and here the pit will be formed because the metal is more corroded from here, it is more oxidized from here. Intragranular corrosion. This type of corrosion occurs previously along grain boundaries. Grains are particles of material. So between the grain boundaries, here it is shown grain A and grain B. This is the boundary between the two grains or two particles. The boundary act as anode, and the grain A and grain B act as cathode. And eddy current flow start from here. It flow from anode towards cathode, and corrosion starts. It takes place in some alloys and some specific environments. This occurs when pronounced difference in reactivity exists between grain boundary and remainder of the alloy. This grain boundary has different reactivity as compared to the remainder of alloy due to difference in composition. This type of corrosion is especially prevalent in some stainless steels Ordinary that stainless steel that we are using are not corroded, but in some variety of stainless steel at very high temperature. When heated to temperature between 500 to 800 degrees centigrade for a sufficiently long time period, these alloy become sensitized to intragranular attack. Mean this stainless steel and other alloys they will they will undergo intragranular corrosion at very high temperature. And this is again intragranular corrosion diagram. Selective leaching or corrosion, and another one we will study here is dezincification. This selective leaching or corrosion or dezincification, this type of corrosion is usually found in dezincification is related to only zinc. This type of corrosion is usually found in solid solutions. We will study about solid solution. This topic is included in your course, solid solutions. Solid solution alloys and occur when element or constituent is preferentially removed as a consequence of corrosion process. For example, there is alloy of metal A and metal B. Corrosion takes place. This is alloy of metal A and metal B, and when corrosion takes place, one of the two metal is only corroded and the other metal is not corroded. And this type of corrosion in which in the alloy only one metal is corroded, this is called selective leaching or selective corrosion. The other metal is not corroded, only one metal is corroded in the alloy. The most common example of selective corrosion is the dezincification of brass. Brass is the in the brass, it is alloy of zinc and copper. Zinc is removed in dezincification process. In this type of corrosion, zinc atom are dissolved from the solid solution, leaving behind copper has practically no strength. Because zinc is more easily corroded as compared to copper, so when all the zinc is removed from the copper, then alloy will have no strength. This alloy will be unuseful. Atmospheric corrosion. This type of corrosion is very frequent on ferrous materials. Rainwater, humidity in the air, this cause atmospheric corrosion. This type of corrosion is primarily due to the formation and breakdown of film by the moisture and electrochemical attack on the exposed metal. For example, moisture film is formed and then moisture film is broken, and in this process corrosion takes place. Electrochemical attack on exposed metal, moisture attack, for example, on ferrous metal, and ferrous is corroded due to moisture present in the atmosphere. Erosion corrosion. This type of corrosion arises from the combined effect of chemical attack and mechanical abrasion or wear as a consequence of fluid motion. A fluid is flowing from a metal surface, so corrosion will take place and mechanical erosion will also take place. Due to kinetic energy of the fluid, the atoms will be removed from the surface. Mechanical abrasion is produced by the turbulent flow of the liquid or impingement of trapped gases. Trapped gases movement can also cause erosion, but the liquid flow has high kinetic energy, so it will cause more erosion corrosion. Commonly we say that when the water flow on from the soil, it erodes the soil. In the same way, when the fluid flow on the metal surface, it erodes the metal by its mechanical strength. Stress corrosion. This type of corrosion, also termed as stress corrosion cracking, is produced by combined effect of mechanical stress and a corrosive environment on the metal. For example, a weight is present, there is a weight on the metal surface, and there is corrosive environment. So there is combined effect of the weight, that is stress, and the corrosive environment, and these two combinedly corrode the metal. So this type of corrosion is called stress corrosion. Prevention of corrosion, you have to do it by yourself. This is your assignment.